Holy, okay. We're back at it. It was a crazy week at work. I worked a couple hours of OT pretty much every single day. I was trying to get the workouts in, trying to go see friends. The week really got away from me, so no real videos. I'm putting the sailing videos up though. That's from last weekend. It's currently Saturday, so I'm going out sailing again today. But I wanted to get the workout in beforehand, so 6-mile run this morning. We're on the long path. I wanted to squeeze this in before we went out sailing. I've been watching my HRV steadily drop over the last week, which is a huge bummer because after the deload, I was feeling really recovered. But honestly, I think this week was just a bit too much for me. And I think I need to make some changes to the program that allow me to recover a bit better, especially because it was such a stressful week at work. I just wasn't recovering very well. So took a rest day yesterday, Friday, pushed the long run out to today, Saturday. Then I'm gonna rest again tomorrow. And I think instead of continuing to up my long runs, I'm gonna start to spread them out over the week. My plan at week 9 is to start adding in some intervals. And so I think it'll be good as that intensity goes up to spread my running mileage over the remaining days of the week. And I'm also gonna make some changes to my lifting days. Still gonna try to keep on the 5-3-1 program. The accessory exercises, we're gonna change those up a little bit. Try to shorten the workouts, stack some things. Just give myself more time to recover during the week. Solid 6 miles this morning. Felt pretty good. You know, there was a couple of times where my heart rate was sort of like zigzagging a little bit. I'm definitely in a recovery deficit right now. So that's why I took that rest day yesterday, and I'm gonna be taking a rest day tomorrow, but it's still gonna be a long weekend. We got 10 hours on the boat, maybe a little bit longer. So I'm gonna try to recover, try to take it easy, but it felt really good. That was a 6-mile run, which is the longest that I have run since getting hurt. There wasn't a point where I was feeling like too tired to run or anything like that. It was more so just trying to keep my heart rate where I want it to be. So feeling super stoked on that. Definitely need to rework the training plan a little bit, make some tweaks just to make sure that the volume is equal to the amount of recovery that I'm having, because honestly, like, the weeks aren't too intense yet, so I need to make sure that I level things out and I'm not getting this like weird recovery burnout out of nowhere. Part of it might be the fact that I didn't actually have a real rest day last week. Super possible, but I'm gonna make some changes and just make sure that I can continue to recover from my workouts. I got about 30 minutes before I need to head out to Avila Beach for the sailing class. So somebody dropped off some donuts for us this morning. I'm gonna go crush a donut, have some eggs, and then get ready to drive.
They brought him to an oak tree. Now they opened his belly with a knife, just slit it up, and they got his entrails out and nailed it to the oak tree, and then made him walk backwards around the tree.
Pretty sweet day out sailing. We did some maneuvers today. We practiced some man overboard drills, which probably would have been a good idea to know about day 1. I gotta spend some time with the book tonight. We're taking a test tomorrow morning, so I need to be prepared for that. Honestly, I think these sailing classes are what's taking it out of me. I don't know, I feel like I shouldn't feel this tired from what I'm doing, but in reality, it's like it's extra stuff during the day. Anything extra is always gonna tax the body. I gotta take a look at the calendar tonight and really try to spread out my running days a little bit better, make some changes to the workouts. You know, I know it's been 6 weeks, that's not really a ton of time, but I think if like one regular week of training is putting me into like an HRV drop like I've been experiencing, and it could just be from the sailing, but there's no real need for me to be doing a 6 or 7 mile long run when I'm only doing 15, 16 miles a week. Right now, the program is just to get me back to basics, right? Like I want to hit a 20 to 25 mile week by the end of the program. That's the intention. And once I get there, then I can really start doing stuff. It is test day, so I'm showing up a bit early. We've got an assessment to see if I can actually get my sailing license this morning, and then we're gonna go hit the boat again, hopefully do some maneuvers. But I'm a bit nervous, honestly. I spent most of last night reading through the handbook. There were a bunch of tests, practice tests in the handbook that I took. What's nice though is that the test is multiple choice. So process of elimination will be my guide here, and you don't have to score super well on the test to still get your sailing license. So we're gonna give it my best shot, hope for the best, but no matter what, we're getting back out on the boat today. Holy, okay, that was sick. I passed my sailing test. That's awesome. There's some places in Morro Bay I want to go check out and see if they'll let me take like a tiny boat out to go practice. We went way out into the ocean to try to find some wind, and it picked up really well. And we went out to this buoy that was moored way far off the shore. You know, I think we went like 5 miles out, and then we were hauling ass back. Like, what a fun day. This was totally worth it. Super great experience. Want to do way more sailing, but I got to figure out how I can, you know, put this into the repertoire. Especially, I mean, sailing is a freaking expensive sport. One of the guys in the class is already talking about buying a boat, and I'm like, dude, you've got money, dude. So I'm home now. I'm just cooking up some dinner. And as I've been cooking, I've just been thinking about this sailing class. And what's been really cool is there's been a lot of crossover between things that I've done in the past and sailing, and it's sort of opened up this new avenue of adventure. And what's really cool is like a lot of the crossover from rock climbing, or like I was a Boy Scout, right? I'm an Eagle Scout. A lot of this stuff has lent itself to figuring out sailing, at least in this first class. Obviously I'm a total beginner, but has lent itself to like the rigging and the lines and knots and just sort of the understanding of that all feels very familiar. But there's this new element, right, of the wind and the sails, and you're getting out there and it feels exciting and exhilarating, and you know, it's so cool to be able to go out and try to do these new things, even if it's not something that's going to become my everyday life. But you know, it's a new way to go explore, and it's got me thinking about all these cool things that I could do with sailing, or it opens up all these different new types of adventures to try. And it's so early days in doing this, but it gets me so excited. And it's the same feeling that I get when I'm like going out backcountry skiing, or I'm starting to go out for like a big ultra run. But it's a lot less taxing on the body, right? It's more about like how you do these things and less of like being physically prepared to do those things. And so it's a different type of adventure, and something that I had to think about a lot, like when I was going through chemotherapy a couple years ago and now breaking my hip, is like, at a certain point in the future, there will be a time when I just can't do all of the physical things that I want to do. And because I rely on them so much for feeling like myself, or a lot of my like self-worth is tied to the things that I can do. Years ago, it was really scary to like project into the future and think, what is that going to look like when I can't keep up anymore? And now I'm starting to explore all these different things. And of course, I've had these little like glimpses into that world when I'm stuck on the couch or I'm stuck in an infusion chair. There's all these things that I can do that I'll be able to do when my body's not like fully capable, and being able to learn them now and get a picture of that makes me excited about that future, whereas before I was feeling like nervous and scared. And being able to share that with my dad too, you know, he's 60, he turned 60 this year, and he's still out there like charging and doing all of these things and like mountain biking and crashing hard and like getting up and getting after it. And so I'm just, you know, my nervousness has shifted towards excitement, because there's all these things that I'm still going to be able to do and just enjoy as my life continues. And I'm super grateful to get into this stuff now. You know, I'm in my mid-20s and I've got all these amazing experiences under my belt, and I'm just like so grateful and so excited for what the future holds, you know, because it's really only going to get better from here.
Video.